and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the third week of our Rutronik Connect series. Rutronik Connect is a webinar series organized by Rutronik, where we invited our supplier partners to talk about different wireless technologies. This week is full of information about different technologies like ultra-wideband or long range and also related topics. And today we are immediately starting with a very important subject, the CRA. This is short for Cyber Resilience Act. And yeah, this defines specific requirements for hardware and software regarding cybersecurity. And these requirements are mandatory for customers to get the CE label in future. So my name is Kerstin Nasser. I'm Corporate Product Manager at Rutronik in the Wireless Department. And with me today is Mr. Detlef Foudeau. He is Senior Director of Business Development at Infineon, and he will introduce us to this very important topic today. Before we start, I have some general information about this webinar first. So the duration will be around 60 minutes, including a question and answer session at the end. So if you have any questions, please use the chat window on the right sidebar. We will have a look on the questions after the presentation. If you have questions later on after the webinar, that's also no problem. You can contact me or my colleagues anytime. I will show you the contact details at the end of the webinar. And yeah, the presentation slides we will forward to you. And also we are recording this webinar so you can watch it anytime later again. Okay, that's all from my side now. I would hand over to you, Detlef.
Yes, thanks. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. So today we would like to give you some overview regarding a new regulation which address all products which have today a CE label called Cyber Resilience Act, will be published in the next weeks in an official journal by the European Commission. And that's the reason that we put this on the agenda to give you this overview today. What is the motivation of the European Commission? In the past, we have seen that many regulations address safety aspects in terms of the CE label, but more and more products are digital, are connected, and with this, the Commission is looking how we can protect consumers who buy such kind of products or business. And they defined products in terms of software and hardware incorporated so-called digital components in hardware and software. With this, the European Commission address common cybersecurity standards for such kind of connected devices. The Cyber Resilience Act, in short CRA, will close the gap to other European regulation, for example, new legislation framework, NLF, NIS, Network Information Security for Critical Infrastructure, CSA, Cybersecurity Act for high secure products and solutions and services, and Radio Equipment Directive called RAD. CIA is part of the CE label in the future. That means you need this approval. And last but not least, CIA is a horizontal regulation. That means address different markets. What is in the scope of the Cyber Resilience Act? You see left side a short table. Health and medical products end products are out, but subcomponents in the supply chain are in. Automotive are out, but also subcomponents in the supply chain are in. Industrial IoT means all Industry 4.0 automation parts, and consumer electronic are in. What is out of scope? You see this on the right side. We have medical product regulation in place, and the Cyber Resilience Act will not double regulation for the same product. Automotive, we have also some cybersecurity regulation like UNIC, and some other areas are defense products, aviation products, or national security programs. These are out of scope. I hope we can go ahead. The milestone plan of the Commission. This month, October, we expect the next days. The regulation will be published in an official journal by the European Commission. And 21 months later, the obligation to report vulnerabilities of and incidents of products which are in the market must be done by all suppliers. And in 36 months from the regulation from now, means October 2027, all new products which will be sold to the market must need this kind of new CE labeling. That means this regulation goes into force. So this is the European published milestone plan. The Cyber Resilience Act defined many products. From the Commission point of view, you see this on the left side, 90% of the products are non-critical products. And you see smart speaker, word processing, photo editing, games are part of this. And in this area, you need a kind of self-assessment and not a third-party testing. On the right side, you see 10% of the products fall into so-called critical products class 1 and class 2. And you see the criteria are functionality, for example, software, intended use, for example, industrial controller, which are addressed by the critical infrastructure NIS 2, and other criteria like extent of impact. Critical products you see in this picture here, Annex 3 defines, for example, password manager, firewalls, and microcontroller with security function. On the right side, you see other examples, operation system, which is running in many IoT devices, industrial firewalls, but also CPUs are part of this regulation and classification in Annex 3. So scope, product with digital elements is named before hardware and software, Article 2, important products with digital elements, class 1 and class 2, and critical products with digital elements are defined. You see on the right side, sorry for the small letter, class 1, some examples by the European Commission written. You see class 2, and you see also critical product with digital elements in Annex 4. These are kind of examples which the Commission addressed with this regulation. So if you ask what is available today, guidance on technical documentation, this is provided in the legal text, specification of product categories in Annex 3 and 4. We expect a delegated act to be delivered within 12 months. That means the regulation is more a framework regulation, and the delegated acts are defined more specific criteria. Formal consultation coming up on this. Guidance to risk assessment. Today, it's unclear whether such guidance will be provided by the European Commission, could be part of the guideline reference in Article 26. So it's an open point today. Interplay with other European legislation to be provided via the guidance in Article 26. No timeline at this moment. Further specification on minimum support period. At this moment, the regulation describes that support period must at least 5 years for products in the market after selling. So this is at this moment the topic you see. We are at the early stage in this case of the regulation, and some additional information and clarification are not published at this moment. So some examples will follow now. First level on top view is, does my product fall under this regulation? We have took 2 examples. A smoke detector for smart home fall not under the Cyber Resilience Act regulation because most of them are not connected. It means not for industrial building, it's more for the private home sector. Wireless mouse for computer fall under the Cyber Resilience regulation. This device is over the air connected, and there's a risk for a cyber attack to attack the cursor on another computer as man-in-the-middle attack, for example. This is easily possible. So does my product fall under the category non-critical? This is, let me say, the second level. And here we have also 2 examples. Memory stick, for example, fall under non-critical part because these memory sticks can only store data in the media, not more. Washing machine with smart home connection is a critical product because this device is connected. Cyber attacks can increase the demand for energy on the power grid, and with this we can have this blackout problem if many washing machines are attacked at the same time with no changing of, for example, passwords. Next view is, does my product fall under the category critical? 2 examples also in this domain. Video surveillance cameras with VPN connection fall under this category because this device is connected and you have video information in this communication part. A heart pacemaker does not fall under this regulation. This product is connected, have digital data, have hardware and software, but this product must be go to the market under the medical device regulation and needs other criteria, follow other criteria of the European Commission to get the intro into the market. So which microelectronic components are affected in purchasing according to this Cyber Resilience Act? You see here a short table: sensors, microprocessors, microcontroller, ASIC and FPGA as a standard product fall in the Cyber Resilience Act category non-critical. In the case microprocessor, microcontroller, ASIC and FPGA have security-related function, then this product fall in the category critical. And with this also for the purchasing of such kind of product, the customer must look regarding the purchase criteria, purchase process, because this 5 years supporting of the product means also you need some supporting from the supplier along this long period of time. So these are some examples to explain and illustrate more what fall in which class of the Cyber Resilience Act. Now I will go to the requirement framework of the European Commission. And so prerequisite, you see many topics. Security by default. This means enable adequate security updates. This means protection from unauthorized access. This needs confidentiality and integrity of data, comments, apps, and programs. Minimization of data, availability of essential function, minimize own negative impact on other devices, limit attack surface, reduce impact on incidents, and record and monitor security relevant events. You see, these are some objectives of the Commission regulation, but not the detailed criteria. That means, for example, enable adequate security updates. What means this for the practical world? This kind of definition, this kind of criteria is not published at this moment. So we need, besides the objective of the regulation, also the parameter and the criteria, and this will come over a new European CEN standard. I will explain this later. On the right side, you see another topic. Penalty aspects are also written in the Commission regulation. Penalty can go up to 15 million euro for a company, or 2.5% of the global company annual turnover. This is also written in this regulation. For the life cycle management, in the future, you have at least 3 steps. Before delivery, product shall be designed, developed, produced, and using security by design principles, as explained before. And this product needs a CE label to get access to the European market. Then you have the delivery. And after the delivery, you have this topic of security update to user for minimum of 5 years. So this is another point. So we have the lifecycle management from the development, step 1, and after sales service for the support delivering of vulnerability topics of this product. So these are very important to have both areas before delivery selling and after delivery selling in mind. So what is this means the requirement for the development and after sales service. So manufacturers must assess a product cybersecurity risk and requirements in detail at all stages of the product development. That means the manufacturer, what they develop in-house as well as what they buy from third party must be put in this topic. Second part here, manufacturers must conduct regular audits and tests and evaluations to verify the security of the products during the support period. This is also very important that this address at the end also the supply chain part, not only the manufacturer development, but also the supply chain of, for example, microelectronic components. Third topic, care must be taken to ensure that third-party, e.g. supplier, and open source do not compromise product security. You can develop a secure product, but you can buy, for example, an unsecure microcontroller, for example, which have security functionality. Last but not least, to track product components and vulnerabilities, the CIA requires the manufacturer to create a software bill of material, SBOM called. The software bill of material means you must write all the used software in the products, independent if this comes from one or two or many supplier. All this must be written in a software table. Very important to have this kind of transparency. So requirement for dealing with vulnerabilities. So in case a manufacturer have a vulnerability, then the supplier needs processes for managing these vulnerabilities. Supplier needs an organization or a platform for the communication of vulnerabilities into two directions. One part is the European Central Reporting Point. It's ENISA, the European agency, which would be the European hub for such kind of information sharing. And this vulnerability must also be communicated to the customers, called coordinated vulnerability disclosure. If possible, automated security updates and security updates information can solve the supporting aspects. If technical possible, it's written by the European Commission text, separate security updates from functional updates must be separated. If technical possible, this is proposal by the Commission. What are the requirements on documentation? In the documentation, you need the information of the manufacturer of the product, clear, central point of contact for dealing with vulnerability in the company, instructions for installing security updates, instruction for disabling automatic security updates, intended use of the product and information on its security properties, known circumstance that could expose the products to cybersecurity risk, duration of the support period, instruction for the secure commissioning and use of the products. These are requirements on the documentation. Requirement for reporting vulnerabilities. Reporting of security relevant vulnerability events to the European Central Reporting Point. In 24 hours, the vulnerability must be reported. In maximum 72 hours, a comprehensive description of the vulnerability must be issued. In case of a hacking, in maximum 14 days, damage limiting measures and final report are requested. These are the timelines for reporting of vulnerabilities in case these are published. A special topic is software in this product part. You have this so-called software vulnerability and exposure list, in short CVE list. This is a directory which shows gaps and risk in software products. This addresses only the software part, and this is in the context of the SBOM definition to use. The directory is since 1999 in use. It gets an update daily area. Today, we have more than 100,000 entries in this list. The main purpose of this CVE list is to avoid double or multiple reports on software problems, you can say. And the entries in this list have 10 different scorings, from 0, no threat, to 10, critical problem. That means you need this handling for vulnerability as soon as possible. So with this, you have also this kind of software handling topic. We think this is, in the context of the Cyber Resilience Act, one of the important learning and should be known by manufacturers of connected digital elements. So one and very important topic is the definition of conformity. Conform to the European regulation means this kind of conformity tests must be done by the CE test labs. At this moment, CENELEC, the European Standardization Organization, gets a mandate from the Commission to create this kind of conformity test table and framework. This first test catalog is expected at this time by end of next year, 2025. Looks a little bit challenging today, but this is the view of the Commission to have this ready and to publish this to the CE test labs, because they need also some time to build the right test framework, test equipment, and be ready for testing of products for the European market. So these third-party test labs are published by the European Commission. They have this on the homepage for all European member states. You can see in which country, which test lab is able to make such kind of CE testing. This member states list is available from the Commission, but will also be updated in regular form from the Commission. And last part, I think it's also important, if a product have not the conformity declaration, this product being forcibly withdrawn from the European market, and products can also be recalled if this is possible from the European Commission point of view, written in the text of the Cyber Resilience Act. You see, it's not only the definition of what's needed to create more security into connected digital components, but also what are the topic if the product cannot fulfill the conformity test from a conformity test lab. This is also important to have this in mind. So regarding the Infineon product mapping to the European regulation, so you see on the left side, Infineon has scalable solution to address various risk and security levels from microcontroller to embedded security solution. So we have microcontroller, we have microprocessor, which have standard function. We have microcontroller, we have microprocessor with security function. And we have also microprocessor, microcontroller with security function and certifying by a third party. Most of them have this common criteria certification. So we have this broad range of products. Today we need the concrete CIA basic requirement in a kind of concrete table. What means security by default? What means secure update? What means data protection? What means protect of unauthorized access? And what means vulnerability fix? All these basic requirements are described but not specific explained, and this is at this moment missing. And that's the reason that from Infineon point of view, the final list of CAS test specification to obtain the CE marking is under development today. So the first draft is expected, as mentioned before, in December 2025 at the earliest stage. It could be happen that this deadline moves into beginning of 2026, because this regulation, as explained at the beginning, address a broad range of products in different markets. And the Infineon product mapping is available as soon as the test specification is published. So we cannot foresee today, from Infineon point of view, what exactly is written in this kind of CENELEC standard. We participate on the standardization work from Infineon point of view. we expect that also many other market player participate in this kind of standardization, but we cannot foresee what would be at the end of the day written in stone in this kind of regulation. And based on this, we must wait until this CENELEC documentation is published, is available, and is stable. So with this, I have raised the Cyber Resilience Act from the motivation point of view. I have raised the requirement for the manufacturer, the requirement for the documentation of the Cyber Resilience Act, the requirement on security by design from the Cyber Resilience Act. We have raised the vulnerability handling. We have raised the part of documentation. We have raised the timeline of the Commission. We have raised the new period of support for vulnerability, which address a longer time for product support, more than the typical 1 year framework. And we have raised also the topic if a product will not fulfill this kind of European conformity test criteria. And we have raised the incidents reporting topic of the Cyber Resilience Act. This is what we can see and tell today, because the final Cyber Resilience Act, as explained, will be published in the next days. But we think for manufacturers for the European market, for the delivering of product into the European market, it's now the right time to get this on the radar screen, to understand what are the game-changing topics in the European market in the next months and quarter, what that means for the development of products, what that means for changing of organization topics, changing of legal topics, and changing of technical topic into the products. And that's the reason that we put this on the agenda for a training for today. So with this, I will open the floor to the audience. If you have any question, any remarks, any topics you would like to raise today. So I move out of the presentation mode, right?
Yes, that would be nice. Many thanks, Detlef, for your presentation. And we also have already some questions. The first question is, does the power line communication is affected by the CRRA?
The power line
communication,
yes.
Okay, good. Next questions. Are there connections to other EU regulations?
Yes. I give you 2 examples. One new regulation addressing artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence can be used in cloud environments, but also can be used in the edge. For example, a robot can have some artificial intelligence behind the camera to optimize the work process of the robot. And in the artificial intelligence regulation, it's written a topic called robustness. And this kind of robustness is also part of the Cyber Resilience Act. With this, we expect that between the Cyber Resilience Act, which address software, and the Artificial Intelligence Act, which address intelligent software, we see also there's a kind of bridge between both in the future. So this is one example, and we know also that in the NIS directive for critical infrastructure, you have this information sharing, this alert information sharing requests, also incidents reporting requests also in the game, and the NIS reporting and the cyber resilience regulation reporting must be looks at the end of the day the same direction, that we have no difference. And this could be another example for the bridge between the Cyber Resilience Act for products and the NIS for production.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Some of the requirements of CRA seem similar to existing IEC 62443 standard. What will be the position of CRA against such standard? Do you think CRA will replace to some extent, or both will coexist?
We have in cybersecurity, we have many standards in place. I would give you two other examples. One is the ISO 27001 for the security management system, which must be installed in companies for handling cybersecurity risk, the ISMS topic. In this standard, you can find also many elements which are written in the Cyber Resilience Act. There are some overlaps between existing standards and this new regulation. Another example is the FMEA, failure analyzing process. If you have a problem, how you handle with this problem, what is the next measurement step. Also in this domain, we see some overlap, you can say, to the Cyber Resilience Act. So Cyber Resilience Act is not completely new, but have some new aspects. But this mapping of FMEA and the ISO 27 standard for the ISMS handling, this mapping at this moment, we have this not available, but we will work on this kind of mapping of existing cybersecurity standards and methods, and this Cyber Resilience Act, which is now in the European corner. But this is, I think, very important to see that companies must not start completely with a new learning curve. They can build on existing learnings and can use this. But again, this mapping is missing at this moment. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Many thanks. When does CRA comes into effect?
The normal procedure at the European Commission is very simple. If the final regulation is published in the official journal of the European Commission, in German called this Amtsblatt, then this regulation goes into force 20 days later. And then we have this time ticking topic. With the 21 months for incidents reporting and 36 months to get the new CE label for the products under the new framework. Okay,
yeah, good. Next question. Do you know vulnerabilities need to be reported? Sorry.
Yeah, this is, as explained, vulnerability only in case the vulnerability are used by attackers. Then you must go this way on handling the vulnerability. If the company, if the manufacturer knows some vulnerabilities in the products, but these vulnerabilities are not used by hackers, then you must not go this timeline approach as shown in the presentation. So very important is only detected and used vulnerabilities by cybersecurity hackers are requested for the handling of this incidents reporting as mentioned in the view. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another question. Until CRA is active, cybersecurity will be integrated in RED, for example. Does this mean that development is already ongoing in this field?
RED is focusing on everything which transmit or receive communication, which receive data with moves over the air communication. This is in RED. That means the focus in RED is not only on security, it's more on the physical frequency topic. You have in the market so-called industry frequency bands, which are open. That means supplier can use, for example, 2.4 megahertz, 13.56, 2.4 gigahertz, sorry, 13.56 megahertz, and so on. These are frequency bands which are open for industry application. And if a product use such kind of industry frequency, which is explained in the RED, then you have this kind of self-declaration. So RED is more focusing on communication over the air, frequency over the air. And if your product is outside of such kind of industry-free frequency band, then you need a kind of third-party testing by TÜV, by test labs that you are using special frequencies. This could be happen, for example, in the health sector, that you not use a standard Bluetooth or standard near field communication or standard other kind of frequency. Then you need this kind of special clearance from a third party. So RED is primarily not focusing on cybersecurity. RED is more focusing on the frequency and the communication physical area.
Okay.
I hope this explains a little bit the difference. But
yes.
if a communication, for example, Bluetooth have a wrong setting, and a man in the middle attack can be happen, then you get the stick, yes, it's proven for RED, but is not allowed by the Cyber Resilience Act. Yeah, because the setting in the Bluetooth low energy communication could be wrong. So you see, these are not completely the same view. Yeah?
Okay. Good. We have another question. What happens with devices that are already now and that are still being sold after October 2027? Do the existing devices need to comply, or
yes,
only newly developed devices?
No. Every product which are on the stock can be developed some months earlier, can be produced some months earlier, but comes into the European market on October 27. Then this regulation is in place. Yeah? That means you need for this product, could be 3 months old, could be produced 4 months before, yeah? But you need this kind of CE label for this new product under the Cyber Resilience Act. So the deadline is selling point to the market, not the development of the product or the production on stock.
Okay. Another question. If the test specifications are only planned to be available by end of 2025 and possibly later, isn't time rather short to bring a product in compliance? Are we supposed to start now from the requirement list to prepare our product?
Yes, this is. I think this kind is. This timeline from the Commission was written, let me say, in the office of the European Commission in Brussels. So your question is touching the real world. Your question is touching the challenge which is expected, that this timeline and real production, real development cycle and so on needs sometimes more time, not only for the manufacturer, also for the supply chain, also for the retailer, which can buy and sell products in the market. And this challenge goes to all stakeholders in this area. That means supplier, retailer, manufacturer, and the test labs have this kind of timeline on the radar screen, but it looks a little bit challenging. Yeah.
Okay, there's another question in that content. Are there third parties available who can help us as long as the test specs are not available?
So at this moment, for example, the BSI have published some baseline requirement regarding cybersecurity and have also given some first guidance on the handling of the Cyber Resilience Act. In France, ANSSI is doing a similar way. The topic is as long as the new CEN standard is not developed, is not published, it's not, let me say, stable, as long as this is not happen, it's not easy for any party to give guidance to the market, give guidance to manufacturer, give guidance to retailer in the market if this kind of framework is not published. It's a little bit, you can say, working in a tunnel. Yeah, and that's a little bit the tricky game at this moment. From my point of view, the idea for today is more to have a kind of first top-level understanding of this regulation, to have this on the radar screen in the next year and the year after, and to think about what kind of technical changing, what kind of legal changing, and what kind of development changing are requested for companies, for manufacturers to fulfill this new Cyber Resilience Act. So awareness today is, from my point of view, number one on the priority list, but all the detailed topics regarding the implementation, regarding what that means for products, what that means for the supply chain, what that means for the after-sales service and so on. All these topics are more clear if the CEN standards and the criteria catalog are available. I think this is the most important point. Mm-hmm. And as explained, the wish list of the Commission to have this first standard available by end of next year, that means in 14 months from now, also this is a little bit challenging.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Thank you, Detlef. I currently don't see any further questions. So let me quickly share my... Oh, one moment. I think one further question came just in. No? Okay, thank you. Okay. One moment. Okay, so just some further information. So if you're looking for more information about our webinars, for example, you can check out our homepage, rutronik.com. If you're looking for any product, for example, You can have a look in our online shop, rutronik24.com, or we have also technical articles or product news on rutronik-tech.com. You can register for our newsletter, and we are also available on social media. And as promised, I also want to show you my contact details. Working, one moment. Sorry. One moment. Now it's working. Here are my contact details, or you can also use the general contact form on our homepage. And also, this is a whole webinar series, as you know. So we have lots of other interesting topics this week. So already this afternoon, we have our supplier insights with us talking about ultra-wideband for precise positioning and secure entry. Tomorrow, we have a webinar with our supplier Infineon about sustainable IoT for healthy and green buildings. On Wednesday, we have 2 more webinars with our experts Murata talking about LoRa and Kyocera AVX, our antenna supplier, who is introducing antenna solutions for ultra-wideband and LPWAN. And on Thursday, this is the last day for this week of Rutronik Connects, 2 more webinars from Edge Impulse and GeoPulse. Okay, so many thanks, Detlef, for your presentation, for all your information, for your time. And also thank you to all participants for your time, for your participation. And yeah, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.